Hey guys, what's up? Scottish Duck here once again. Right, a couple of you asked for this, so I'm giving it to you. Here's my thoughts on E3 2012. You've probably seen about a dozen or so of these videos on YouTube so far, but heck, this one's special because it's mine. Okay, now I'm going to be talking about all five conferences individually, and I'm also going to go in order of what I thought was like worst to best. I'll put in wee annotation-y links that you can click on if you want to skip to a specific conference. You know, you can go right ahead. But yeah. With that said, here's my E3 thoughts on with proper editing and everything. See, look, I'm gonna add sound effects and that. So let's go on to the the conference that I thought was worst. EA. Okay, so I simply watched EA because it was there. You know, I was actually on Skype with a friend for a majority of the conferences. You know, we were just looking for them all, had them kind of in the background, and EA's kind of bored me to tits, right? I mean, they like to do that thing where they have like football players and that come up, and obviously none of that interests me in the slightest. I don't really like The Sims or either, so majority of that conference really did bore me to tears. The only thing I remotely liked was Crisis 3. I'm a relative Crisis fan. I'm really not that big of a Crisis fan, but I do enjoy the games, and Crisis 3, you know, it does look alright. I'll probably give that one a try. I was, however, absolutely gutted about friggin' Dead Space 3, okay? There were rumours about this coming out, and it's true, it's co-op based. And as some of you know, I fucking hate co-op when it's, you know, when it's shoehorned into a series that doesn't frigging need it. And that's exactly what this is. This is Resident Evil 5 all over again. It's going to take away that feeling of isolation, and it's just going to be annoying. It's going to impact the single player. I sound like such a whiny bitch right now, but I'm passionate about this. Yeah. I really really like Dead Space, you know, and I don't like this. I really don't. So yeah, boo-hoo. Did they show off anything else? Oh yeah, they showed off Battlefield 3 and Medal of Honor. I couldn't tell you a thing about them. They looked exactly the same to me, but whatever. Um, yeah, I think that's it actually. So yeah, EA. That was my least favorite of the uh, conferences, and now on to my second least favorite, Microsoft. Okay, how are you liking these sound effects, by the way? Right. Now, Microsoft has had a rap for having like terrible Kinect centered conferences for the past 2 years. You know, 2010 it was nothing but Kinect, 2011 it was nothing but Kinect, and yeah, this year Kinect was surprisingly toned down, and yeah. See, I don't know what to say about Microsoft's E3 conference because I do genuinely think it was a lot better than the previous years. Mainly because it wasn't like making me cringe when I was watching. I'm like, There was actually some really, at least entertaining things. You know, you could sort of raise your eyebrows at, like having the creators of South Park on there, and just like, you know, going all out with Usher. I'm not an Usher fan, but I'll give credit where credit's due. That like little show there was pretty cool, um, and yeah. I mean, looking at this conference, it looks like they are gonna have like you know, all Xbox is really gonna have now is a Halo game, a Gears game, and a Forza game every year. Have you guys noticed that's becoming a real trend with the gaming industry lately? You know, a lot of series are just becoming annual. Now, I'm not against that. I'm not particularly against that or anything, but it's just becoming more and more out there, you know. But yeah, I didn't give a shit about. Well, I say I didn't give a shit, but I'm sure there'll be good games. But I'm not particularly interested in Halo, Forza, or the new Gears. I did enjoy seeing some multi-plat gameplay, particularly Tomb Raider. That's looking really good. I genuinely can't wait to pick that one up. Um, the smart glass thing, don't care. In fact, let me tell you something, guys. Fun fact, right? You see that? You see the current dashboard for the 360 with all the Kinect controls and that in it? I don't have that. I've not turned on my 360 in like a year. It's been sitting there collecting dust because everything I would want to play on it, I can get like a better version on PS3 or 360 or a PC Did I just say 360 or PC? I mean PS3 or PC, yeah. And the reason I call it better is because, if, say, I wanted to play online or something, or I wanted to play... Yeah, if I want to play online, it's not much. I don't want to open up this can of worms, but I'm really surprised Microsoft's been getting away with that for so fucking long, Having, no exclusives that I'm particularly interested in. Yeah, that's just me, okay? And the fact that you still have to pay online, I've been against that for a really long time now. I'm not paying for Xbox Live. I've just really no reason to keep the thing about. And I still don't. I can't think of a single reason to keep this console, with the slight exception of maybe those bullet hell games by Cave that Rising Star Games publishes. But even then, Microsoft sure as hell didn't give that a spotlight in their conference. That would have been fucking sweet. I'd have loved that. If I'd have seen that, I'd have turned that 360 right on and updated it right away. But yeah. So yeah, Microsoft's was bad, but honestly, I was still surprised at how particularly not bad it was, if that makes any sense, which probably doesn't. But anyway, that's Microsoft. So, on to my sort of middle ground conference. Nintendo, right. I just want to say though, Nintendo and Sony were actually really close, I think. They were both particularly meh conferences that started out strong and then near the end they just got, But I think Sony won out over Nintendo, and I'll get into that when I talk about Sony. But Nintendo anyway. My god. Right. Started off pretty nicely with Pikmin 3. Not a particularly big Pikmin fan, but I know a lot of people are, so good on you, Nintendo. I find it kind of weird that you have to play that game with the Wii Remote and Nunchuck, though. It's not using the Wii U pad at all. It's weird. Speaking of the Wii U itself, I saw that Nintendo Direct presentation that Iwata gave before this conference, and it's all looking really good. The Wii U seems to have a lot of promising little things. It supports up to 2 gamepads now, even though that detail's a little sketchy right now. What with performance issues, I don't know all the details, but yeah. What else about it? The Miiverse and the online. Some of the features about it I'm really liking, like the fact that each game has its own message board for when you're stuck. Sure, I'm probably just gonna stick with Google or whatever, but it's still a novel thing regardless. Now, trying to think. I know I'm gonna be missing out stuff. Scribblenauts, I wasn't really too fussed about that. Zombie U looks quite cool. It could work. I haven't seen too much gameplay on it, but if it works the way I'm thinking it does, then go for it, Nintendo. That would probably be quite good. I can't believe... I find it hilarious that they announced 2 new Super Mario Brothers games, and I also find it hilarious that there are now more new Super Mario Brothers games than there are Super Mario Brothers games. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's Jesus. But yeah, I'm sure the games will be good, but goddamn, did they have to announce 2 at the same time. Speaking of which, they had a separate 3DS conference the next day. I'll talk about that in a bit. Nintendo Land can go fuck itself. What else? I know I'm missing out some stuff. They were talking about Batman. I've already got that on Steam. I don't really need to buy it. I mean, a lot of people are kind of being pessimistic, why do we have to wait to the next generation to play games that are already out? But I don't really see it like that. I see it as Nintendo sort of saying to their fans, the people that buy Nintendo consoles exclusively, I see this as Nintendo saying to them, look, you're going to get these games now, you're going to be able to play them. And I'm giving props to Nintendo for that, good on them. Right, Wii Fit U. This karaoke game. Yeah, it was mega casual, this conference. It was definitely more casual stuff than hardcore stuff, that's for fucking certain. So in that regard, it was quite disappointing. As for the 3DS event that they had, though, that was not bad. I can understand. They had the content there, all the games they showed off look really sweet. I'm particularly looking forward to Paper Mario and Castlevania. I'll really like the DS Castlevanias, so that'll be cool. But I remember just sitting there throughout the whole conference. They're not going to announce games that I wanted. Okay, I'll admit, I sat for that whole conference. I was just waiting for them to announce something like some of the Japan-only games, like Project X Zone, or Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright, or hell, even Hatsune Miku Project Mirai. I can dream. I can fucking dream, okay? But even with those like three currently Japan-only games in mind, if I really, really wish all of them come over. By the way, they also missed out on Animal Crossing, and what was the other one they missed out on? Fire Emblem, which is odd. You'd think that they'd at least shoehorned them into a reel or something, but they didn't. So, what can you do? So yeah, overall Nintendo was a bit meh. Okay, now on to my second favorite conference. Okay. Sony, yeah, right. Sony's conference, again, was rather similar to Nintendo, but they had more core stuff. They really didn't have that many announcements. They spent a bit too long on the announcements that they had, Right. First things first, Beyond Two Souls. That looks friggin' amazing. I was a big fan of Heavy Rain. I enjoy those games. In fact, the fact that they got David Cage to come out and talk about it, I really like that. I love David Cage. I haven't disliked a single one of his games. Omicron, The Nomad Soul, Fahrenheit, also known as Indigo Prophecy, and Heavy Rain. They're all really good to me. So yeah, but this one, it looks kind of the same as Heavy Rain. It's probably going to be all centered around QuickTime events, but I can't imagine it being like that. I can't imagine David Cage settling for just the same thing Heavy Rain did. I think he'll do something with the gameplay that'll, surprise us. Probably incorporate some of those like TK powers the main character apparently has. So yeah, whatever. PlayStation's Battle Royale. I don't really have much to say about this one, but I will say that if you're a particular Sony enthusiast, then this game must be right up your alley. You're probably looking forward to it. Hell, I can say for sure that if Sega came out with the Smash Brothers ripoff, I'd be on cloud nine probably. I don't care about playing the fact that it's ripping off as long as it's got the characters that I know I like a lot. That I'm a particularly big fan of. But yeah, what else did we have? They spoke a little bit about the Vita. They had some Ubisoft games come out, and while they did look good, it was just the same as Ubisoft's conference, which went previously. But yeah, enough about that. They had like a PS Vita exclusive Assassin's Creed. That looks pretty cool. I like the fact that you're playing as a female assassin. That'll be interesting. And the PS Vita Call of Duty. I can't imagine how much they must have paid to get Activision to make this game, because it must have been a lot. And I don't know. I don't really have any comment on it. I'm definitely not going to be buying it myself anyway. That's for sure. But yeah, the Vita was really, really underplayed in this event. That disappointed me because I have one and I've nothing for it. I'm going to be getting Gravity Rush next week, but that's it. Where did they go on to next? I think the next thing they spoke about was I can't remember which came first, but I'll just talk about them in this order. They talked about God of War. God of War looks awesome. We've seen the multiplayer footage, but this just looks a bit like the other ones with some little minor changes here and there. And that's fine, if something's not broke, don't fix it. But, and someone's shouting outside. So yeah, I'm sure God of War Ascension will be awesome. I can't wait for it. And then they brought out Wonder Book. Now, oh god, shut the fuck up. Interrupting my video, will you? Yeah. Now, Wonder Book, if I was a kid, okay, I'd probably be, like, amazed by that. It'd be like a big epic pop-up book. You know what I'm saying? And it would be a definite novelty that you'd probably get bored with in 5 minutes. But still, a kid could appreciate it the most. But as for core gamers, obviously not. Yeah, I don't know. They must have known that no one would like that, and the fact that they couldn't demo it properly as well, it's just like, yeah. But, well, in any case, augmented reality seems to be the way forward as of now, doesn't it? Okay, and I think the last thing they showed was The Last of Us. The Last of Us looked awesome. I really like the fact that it's sort of similar to Uncharted, but there's a lot more emphasis on survival. It could even be sort of survival horror-y, maybe? I don't know. I know that you fight some sort of mutated monsters in it as well, so it could be scary. And I'm really glad. I think they confirmed this. I don't know if they did, but I think they said there isn't going to be co-op in the game. There's going to be multiplayer, but I don't think there's going to be any co-op. If there's not, I'll be glad because I really don't want, well, actually, I say that, but the sort of the kid that accompanies you, her AI seems to actually be really good. I don't know maybe if that was scripted or what, but if it's like that throughout the whole game, then I don't mind it in the slightest. That's actually quite cool. Right, but yeah. That was Sony overall. As far as the big three goes, I think they won really simply, to me anyway, because they had games coming out that I was more interested in. I really hope I've not missed anything out at this point, but anyway. Now on to the winner of E3. Have you guys noticed that I've actually been making the sound effects myself? I know that. I know you probably can't. I know that they sounded great, didn't they? But yeah, that's what I've been doing, and I can't think of a new one. But in any case, Ubisoft, fucking soft. Oh my god, I've always enjoyed Ubisoft's conferences, right? And I'll admit, I went into this one solely to hope for Beyond Good and Evil 2, because that game kind of got a little bit of buzz over the past couple of weeks there, and the chances of it showing up was actually gonna maybe happen. And I was like, yes, but it didn't come up. And for that I was sorely disappointed, but my god, did they deliver. Did they fucking deliver. They started off with Just Dance 4, and they had this this sort of YouTube guy who was not funny at all, and this sort of black woman who knew nothing about video games as far as I could tell. And my god, what she said at the end of that conference. Holy crap. That was hilarious. Right, now, but after that, let's see. I'm just going to go for all the games that they showed. Zombie U, we only saw a CG trailer. We saw most of it at Nintendo's conference. Yeah, like I said, that looks good. Assassin's Creed 3, again, we saw that at Sony's conference. And Far Cry 3, we also saw that at Sony's conference as well. But yeah, both those games look awesome. I really like the sort of change in setting with Assassin's Creed 3. It looks like it's going to be more action-based, but to be honest, I think that series really needs any sort of change of pace, considering how repetitive it's gotten with all the spin-offs and that, like Brotherhood and Revelations. So I'm excited. I think that's going to be great. Far Cry does look awesome. I can say with all the confidence in me that I hate Far Cry 2. I think it's a terrible game. I couldn't get into it at all, but this one does look a bit better. But we'll see when it comes out, and at the very least, it looks very pretty. Also, boobies. Yeah, I can't believe that was on national TV, by the way. I mean, wow. Ubisoft was really hardcore with that conference, like. What else did they show? They showed off Shoot Mania. Not really my thing, but I know the Mania games have a real cult following, and I'm sure it'll impress. Then there was Rayman Legends. Holy crap, did that look really good? That level with the music, it was banging my head throughout the whole thing. It's just, wow. I mean, I really liked Rayman Origins, I did. But I'm going to say right here, I bought Rayman Origins solely to support Beyond Good and Evil 2, because that's what Ubisoft does when they can't be arsed advertising a game, right? They say, well, if this sells well enough, we'll make Beyond Good and Evil 2, and the fact that they didn't show Beyond Good and Evil 2, and instead went and announced a sequel to Rayman Origins, I was feeling kind of bitter about that, I was, but Rayman Legends looks fucking amazing! It really does. I can't wait to pick that up. I'm very, very looking forward to it. Right. And the last thing they showed off, I remember thinking to myself at the end of the conference, well, that's another year in. They didn't announce Beyond Good and Evil in 2011, and they didn't announce it this year. But I've got a pretty good feeling about 2013. Oh well, let's go off then. But then they decided to show off something else. Watch Dogs. It was a new IP, and I'm thinking to myself, is this going to be some sort of casual thing? But my god. My fucking god. Game of the show, without a doubt. Holy shit. I love the premise. The graphics look amazing. And the fact that you can use the city as your weapon. My mind was all over the room because it blew up so much. It looked absolutely amazing. Oh, I I really couldn't believe how good that was. I cannot wait for that game. I'm assuming it was running on like a PC, a high spec PC, because it didn't really look like it was running on a 360 or PS3 to me. I could be wrong, but like whatever. Right. But yeah, guys, that was my E3 experience. E3, EA, Microsoft, Nintendo, Sony, Ubisoft. That's the order as far as I was concerned. Overall, though, E3 was kind of shit. It was. I mean, sure, there was great announcements that I loved, but at the end of the day, there just wasn't that much to be had there. I was really looking forward to maybe some Japan-only games getting announced, because that's really what I'm kind of into at the moment. But yeah, and yeah, that's all I've got to say. In any case, here's to the Tokyo Game Show. But yeah, there we go. See you after. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.